Greetings, thank you for joining us. Tonight's broadcast brought to you by Fifth Dimension. So tonight's connection wasn't going to be. I was going to be more about Queen of England and other. I was going to talk about the Druids, but instead, I don't know how to pronounce this person's name. Let me look again. Oh, it's Billie, Eilish, whatever it is. Eilish. So she's 18 years old. I guess she started a couple years ago. I don't know. I'm not paying that much attention to it. She made her first album in her house with her brother, and that made it to the Billboard charts. Realize she did not have a studio in her house. So she was like groomed by the Illuminati or through, not that she had a handler, but through spiritual intervention. Because now the only reason I found her because the James Bond thing, I saw her name on that. It's like, who the hell is that? And I didn't think much of it at first, and then I saw all the other stuff she produced. I saw her, was it Bad Boy? That seemed to be alright. I guess when you listen to it, the video is better than the song, but whatever. I can't. Maybe, never mind. But then you look at her other stuff, and it's like Illuminati Central. And it's just, she just comes out of nowhere. She's 18. I guess she was 16 or something like that. She became this, she's huge. And of course, they debunk all that Illuminati shit. Then, of course, they're going to do that. They're not going to just say, oh, yeah, by the way. I mean, you just look at the stuff she's doing. Oh, yeah, another thing is about the Queen. I'm kind of setting up a timeline if she quits this year. God, that would be a good day. I'm looking forward to it. If she quits this year, what she probably won't, but I'm putting it out there anyway. If she quits this year, it's better for everybody. I mean, you have Harry going to Canada and going to ruin that place, and the Queen, that shows that she's breaking down. The likelihood is not very high, but let me tell you, they'll turn this year around, give it some real self-worth. Because who knows where things are going. Of course, it's early, but seeing the Queen, so I'm putting out a timeline out there. Not that I'm the only one doing it, but man, I'm just clapping my hands for her retirement. Not to say Charles is much better, but it is different. And it'd be better with William because everything will fall apart. Nothing will ever be the same again. At least with Charles, it would be a copied version of it. It'd still be, in the same mediocrity it is today. Same more dictatorship. But it won't be as strong. And definitely William will completely break down. It'll still be a dictatorship to a certain degree. It is a dictatorship to a certain. It is. It is. It's. When you look at, it's all Julius Caesar. I mean, Julius Caesar was a dictator. And all the Romans are dictators. And then that phased out, and then religion came in, called the Catholic Church. It just changed forms, that's all. It's still part of, the dictator of the world. It's still the same shit. So, well, actually, it mostly goes through the Pope. That's where I was putting that. It's actually the Pope, but still, England's still an arm of it. So, actually, the Pope is actually the dictator, but either way. You have the religious dictator, and you have the political dictator. It's all the same bullshit. So, I guess we'll find out. Yeah, the likelihood is not very high, but maybe this year you'll see watches start to break down. That would be just great. So we need it. We really do. I mean, just doing the same thing every year is getting ridiculous. You have Notre Dame that was on fire. It'd probably be impossible to rebuild. which is good. I'm surprised it didn't burn down to the ground. Probably could have, but people couldn't handle it because they're too attached to modernism. So, either way. So we'll take a little glimpse back over to, we'll go to this first. If I even did it right. Oh. For those who are new to all of this, if you're still here, I've been telling you my private sessions. If you can handle it. Learn how to channel. Google Hangout, Zoom, and channel by phone. Also, I'm on still January 6th. I'm going into 7th. Maybe tomorrow if I have an energy. Definitely this weekend. And I should be getting caught up a little bit better. There's something else I wanted to say. Oh, I'm using Dropbox instead of Box because Box is full. So Dropbox. So if you get anything from me, it's Dropbox now. Same situation here. Other channels and healers I do recommend. Social network and awesomeness. Oh. Okay. Alright, so there's the pop princess. She looks really good in that picture. She's Billboard. She's like, something big deal. I'd never even heard of this person. I don't know what any of this means, but this is all her pop stuff, her popness. So Ocean Eyes is, I don't know what the thing. Anyway, yeah, looks really good there. I'm not gonna go into her Illuminati stuff. Yeah, she looks really good there. Yeah, it looks really all just everything's fine. No manipulation, nothing going on at all. So this is one of her, that's her. This is all good girls go to hell. So, you can have a song like that, but why do you have to do that? So, yeah, what is she trying to tell us? All fun, huh? Looks like fun to me. So, yeah, she's been groomed, created, remember, spiritually. So, yeah, there's a spiritual way of how they bring these people in. It's through astral, it's through the spirit world. It's through, she doesn't have some handler standing around her. She created her album with her brother. So, he was kind of like, well, you can say her brother's her handler. He's older than her. So, but it just, all this stuff happens, and she's just 18, and she's walking around like that. Well, not walking around, but it's like she's not Illuminati, but yeah, you got this shit. It's like, whatever you say, sweetheart. Yeah, they can say no all they want. They're not going to tell everybody yes. I mean, look at Lady Gaga, she's the same thing. So, this is just a new version of it. So, more power to you. No. Yeah, it all comes back to you eventually. Must be fun at first, and then you go down the drain. Or just go down the drain. Whatever comes first. Either way. Obviously, consciousness needs something like that for what reason? It hasn't learned, and it's not going to anytime soon. It's not taking any of that seriously. It likes being controlled. It likes being manipulated. It's not ready to take care of itself. It likes the darkness because it does not face itself, so music helps it find its darkness. But there's a lot of darkness in humanity because it's not facing it. It's doing drugs, it's doing alcohol, but it's not really facing it. It's not getting rid of it. It's kind of prolonging it. It's making it cool. Hollywood makes it cool all the time. Like with cigarettes, it's always making destroying yourself cool. It's just Hollywood way. I mean, yeah, but especially when you get older and all that, it's like, was it really worth it? So she's kind of publicity. I think it was part of Xanax too. She was publicity for that. I think somebody said that. No surprise there. Yeah, this is a Illuminati puppet creation. No doubt about it. And the mainstream, of course, they're going to laugh about it because they are part of the system. She's part of the system. They're part of the system. They're not going to start admitting to it. It's just a lot of it's coming from OR Astral. It's her choice. She probably came from OR Astral, most likely. So, obviously, would you walk around like that if you came from lower astral? I think all of our spirit guides are from lower astral. They're a warning. I mean, the more we recognize these, our spirit guides or alien beings, the more it becomes more part of our. Sometimes you need to go through the bad to see the good. You have to have a bad spirit guide. That's nice. Screw you over to recognize the spirit world. Sometimes you need a bad alien to screw you over to take it more seriously and realize maybe some of these aliens aren't as good as they seem to be. Because a lot of them aren't. Of course, people are giving their power to them all the time. Not always, but a lot. And even in spirit, we're giving our power to them. And sometimes I don't think they know what the fuck they're doing. Or maybe that's most of the time, especially in my case. I don't think they know what they're doing, period. Actually, at this point, I don't think they know anything. I take all their credit away. I don't give them any credit anymore. So they start showing something of some credit, and for any reason to give them credit, I took all that away. The report card is not looking good. Let's put it that way. It's getting worse and worse by the day. It's just, their action on their side is absolutely ridiculous. So, this was it. Gather my thoughts. The Succubus, I did a thing on that. And Anunnaki connections. Of course, I think Valentine's Day should be Succubus Day, but that's up to me. I'm not in charge of that. Of course, I know a succubus that wants to have what was it called? Sage Day. But what about Succubus Day? I think she'd be a great poster child for that instead. Actually, she has the look for it. She has everything. She has this fake smile. She has like 1,000 days of makeup and all that. She has all the setup for it. Good poster child for Succubus Day. Which you never know, that might happen. But the thing about now you might have heard this through Barbara Messiniak. This is the first time I ever heard about it. Of course, I think she's channeling a lot of Anunnaki. She says she's channeling Pleiadians. I think it's more Anunnaki. I don't follow her stuff, and I know a lot of these interviewers. I don't understand why they call this like spiritual. I know they call it work. This is your work. This is your spiritual work, and I don't know. Just that title doesn't sound right. I mean, it's like for a lot of these people, it's their life, and you're calling it their work, and I don't know. It just sounds weird. For me, it's more of a burden. It's felt recently, especially when you see the spirit world in their true colors. It's like, jeez. But like with the Anunnaki, Barbara Messiniak said about the Anunnaki how they have relationships with their kids. Now, not all Anunnaki do that. I don't believe so. Some of them do. Now, for us, that might be bizarre. But then again, like our society is fucked up too. So we have some of that here, a little bit. I think it's called the Mormons. A little bit of that in there. And I imagine more people would do that too if it wasn't the whole bloodline thing. I believe it was stopped. It was supposed to happen here, but Anunnaki was pushing for it. And I believe they stopped it for the most part. We have enough problems. We don't need that either. But for some civilizations, I believe it's alright. For some think about it. I mean, just because we forgot about it doesn't mean other civilizations don't have a problem with it. It's about beauty. I think it's about love. So if you have a child and you love that child and you get along with that child like a relationship, you marry that child. And for them, I know it sounds creepy, but people are just gonna have to get over it. I mean, they're just gonna have to they think the aliens are all perfect and all wonderful, and that shit doesn't stink. You might want to think again about that. I mean, our world's all fucked up, and a lot of them has a lot to do with it. It's not just us; they had part to it too. Of course, they're not gonna admit to that. Some of them will. A lot of them won't. They think we're just low dimension idiots, basically. Think again. They're just as dumb as we are. Just because they're high, just because they're fourth dimension doesn't make them smarter or better than us either. That doesn't. No. Why don't you come here in the sewer and see how long you last? A lot of them are going to be crying, doing drugs, and wanting to kill themselves, and see how powerful they really are. Can you come to this world and not do that stuff, and keep your sanity in some shape or form? Let's see those four-dimensional aliens do. Let's see the reptilians do that without kicking somebody's ass. So I think they're all powerful. Yeah, maybe at the fourth dimension they're powerful, but we bring them down to our level of thinking again. But obviously, a lot of people aren't going to agree with that. Jeez. But either way, when you look at the Anunnaki and civilizations where they just have a relationship with their freaking family, and Succubus has something to do with it. It came through yesterday, but I think it kind of took them over. From what I got from that, it took over the Anunnaki and messed them up real badly, and they kind of integrated into their society and became normal. So when you're incarnating in this world, and you already had a relationship with your parent or something, like an intimate relationship, you're gonna remember that, and it's just you might be disconnecting from it, whatever it might be, but it does have it's here. I mean, we have right now in Hollywood, I think it's Hollywood mostly, because that's the fucked up place, where parents, the Hollywood, the celebrities are having kids, and they have a boy and a girl, and now they're gender fluid. So the boy can now be a girl, and the girl can be a boy. Who knows what the fuck they are? So that sounds very Anunnaki of them when you think about it. So, or obviously there's other alien races too. It's not just Anunnaki, but I'm just gonna use that for an example. So we're going into a weird reality, and yeah, I don't know what you're gonna do with that. I mean, that Hollywood's showing that they're kind of being groomed, but also they're showing us where we're all heading. I mean, it's not like kids don't have enough problems as it is. But yeah, it's going to become more of heart desires. People just follow their feelings. They want to be a boy or a girl or whatever it is, and it's not going to be everybody, but there's going to be a portion of people where, and those souls chose that too. It's just going to be, there's going to be a group of people that are just going to be into that, just the way it is. Just like the Anunnaki having, dad having a promotion with their kid, intimate, getting married and all that. It's only a small group, of course. I say it's small. Who knows how big it is? I don't want to know. But their DNA is set up for that too. Ours isn't. Not really. You have cousins here marrying in the Romanovs, and they got all screwed up because they're a little bit too close. So, they push the boundaries, and the Illuminati does it all the time. I mean, look at George W. Bush. He's all stupid and everything. Of course, he was stupid anyway, but some of that had to do with genetics, but he was already dumb anyway. But, he's just kind of a stupid soul in the long run. So, but, it's not always genetics that cause stupidity. But, the Bush family, Illuminati family. Well, the reason they say the Bush family, because you got the war version of the genetics. So, but yeah, the Illuminati does their own genetic engineering, definitely. You look at their history. They get a little bit too close to each other. The cousins get a little bit too close, and their kids are all screwed up through health. I think the Romanovs are a perfect example of that. There's others, but either way, I think they had a daughter that was okay, maybe a kid, but the youngest was the one that was all screwed up. I was in a hospital. I was always in a wheelchair and things like that. So it's here. It's I don't like talking about it, but it's funny. You find out about the succubus, and it takes you a whole new directions. It's like I never thought I would do that. It's like I found Manly P. Hall. I'm going to go into more of that stuff, but not today. The Druids. Well, I'll go into some of it. About of course, that stuff is, first I'll put you to sleep instantly. There's so much stuff, so wordy. Uh, but yeah, the Druids were basically Atlanteans. We used to have the Atlantean knowledge, Lemurian knowledge, Atlantean knowledge. And I believe they went into, how, and of course you have the Egyptians too. But I believe the Druids are very connected to the Masons. I believe the Masonic symbols come from the Druids. But I could be wrong about that, but either way. Like Hermes, and you have Hermaphrodite, something like that. Jeez. I think Hermes, and you have Hermaphrodite. Anyway. So, there's too much knowledge on that stuff. But either way, from a spiritual, from what I feel from it though, yeah, the Druids were ancient Atlanteans, very advanced. They had to hide themselves somewhere because the world couldn't handle them anymore. They didn't all die out, and they're still here. And their secrets, the mystery schools, secret societies are all there. Yale University showed like the skull and bones. Shows this is all old information, but it shows how they're just they'll put themselves through rituals, and of course the Illuminati does it all the time. It's like, here's a bunch of money. Do you care if we treat people like shit? We'll make you a millionaire really easily, but you can't be bothered by hurting people, something like that, and screwing people over. You can't worry about that. And I guess they have a way of figuring out karma on that too. But still, if you just get sick of treating people like shit, of course, if you're going to, it's like there's a lot of positive Illuminati where they don't like where they're at. There's not many of them compared to the dark ones, but I'm just with they just I feel like they just deal with it. A lot of them are connected to Lockheed Martin. And other places, definitely Lockheed Martin. Yeah, big surprise there. And obviously with Hollywood, that shows you how Hollywood is so orchestrated. And, obviously through James Bond, through everything there, practically, majority of it, not all of it. It tells you how much they run everything. Jeez. I mean, if you have an 18-year-old writing a song for James Bond, his 18-year-old kind of came out of nowhere. Yeah. So it's a little bit of a glimpse of how things work, how things are orchestrated. And it goes much further than that, obviously. So it's just a lot of people don't want to see it. They don't want to believe it. They don't want to see it. The music industry, what they did to Michael Jackson, because he knew a bit more than he should have. He just fought the wrong people. He just fought back, and they did everything they can to destroy him. They're doing an excellent job of it. And they're using other timelines to bring in other versions of Earth. I know that sounds weird, but remember, you're dealing with magicians here. Dark magicians. So it's a whole new level. Your normal person is not think about black magicians. They're not going to think about it. Remember, magic does not exist in our reality, unless you go to Disney, where magic is everywhere as advertisement. And that's black magic too. It wasn't intentionally that was black magic now. So that's changing timelines too. So yeah, when you realize that magic does exist, and it does, and everybody's a magician to a certain extent, and you just even I don't even think about it that much, but it's a gradual process. But we're all magicians in our own way, and some abuse it, and it will never get their power back. I know Succubus with that name on it, but some that just want their power back. They want all this power, and you're not going to get it back because they don't use it right. They use to fuck people up. And I guess, like the Illuminati energies, they go about it in a certain way. They even, like the Illuminati, they do a lot of bad shit. But they go about it in a certain way where they keep their power. And some people it's like drugs. They just get it and they don't give a fuck. And so they never get there. They misuse it. Like the Dark Illuminati, they do a lot of dark, but they do a lot of good too. They like Homeland. There's a TV show Homeland about the CIA. That is the CIA trying to clear karma. So it's all so complicated, and one person can't connect to everything, but it's all right in our face. But the thing about black magician energies, like with this Billie girl, they know what they're doing. They know, I don't know how they do it, but they groom these beings, souls before they incarnate here. Either maybe it's all through just lower astral, which would make more sense. But they groom before they're incarnated, and the souls are already set up. They're like a lower astral timeline, and Dark Illuminati already has control over this planet because we give our power to them, and so they have a control, so they make the rules. So lower astral Illuminati run our society, so they can bring in an 18-year-old magician, or I say magician. I mean, musician and magician don't sound all that much different. It's pretty much a form of magic, definitely. And and your average human is not gonna believe in any of this shit because they don't see it. Everything has to be physical, and that's the trick. And so they hear about magic, they just laugh their asses off until you see it. Like you see David Blaine started flying off the ground, and they believe it. But even there, they don't believe it unless you see it with your real eyes. But magic is invisible. It's in our face, but it's mostly invisible. So it's a major trickster energy. It's not something that your mainstream people want to talk about. And when you see the chemtrails, you can see the chemtrails, but do you believe what it's doing? People will laugh about that, but the black magicians are a big deal, and it's if you can bring in a musician like that and then get mainstream coverage just like that. And then they have a musician out there called Poppy, and she has a bunch of Illuminati stuff all over the place, but she's an indie musician. She might be pretty big, in L.A., but no one's probably ever heard of her. But she's not making music for freaking James Bond and everything. She's not on the Billboard charts of like number one and all that. This girl, the Billie girl, is a big deal. So they might make fun of all that Illuminati stuff, but some are actually living it, truly living it. So the mystery schools, obviously it's a mystery, so I'm not going to tell anybody for obvious reasons. But yeah, I believe the Druids go into the Masonics, and the Masons, even if the Masons did all the building and all that, and they say the Illuminati eventually took over, I believe they were already there. Because you look at the Mason buildings, it's already pulling in energies from lower astral. It's already doing it. It's synced in with another group or something like that. You can say, well, the Illuminati, the modern Illuminati, but the Illuminati's always been in existence, just calling themselves different names. So yeah, like the ancient pharaohs are still here too, just in different form. I don't know where they are, but they're here somewhere. I mean, just because the pharaohs faded out doesn't mean they're not here somewhere. So, I mean, if it's going to have that symbol on the dollar bill, they're here somewhere. They have to be. And there's Egyptian, was it the obelisk, where it's in Washington, it was a Washington Monument. I mean, it's an Egyptian obelisk, I can't pronounce it, but either way. I mean, it's Egyptian. It's not a statue of George Washington, it's Egyptian. So the Egyptians are definitely still here. A lot of the Egyptian artifacts are in London's museum. I believe it's London. So that tells you, once again, where they are. They're hidden. I believe they're in Brussels, the energy I just got there. They're hidden. They're living the life, but from the energy I get from them, they do everything. Yeah, they live the life of wealth, but they do everything so quiet. They're not part of the Bilderberg group. They have other people part of that. Those little groups, they're not part of any of that. They're hidden. But they're here, but they're hidden. They're wealthy. I believe most of them are in Europe. Nobody's paying attention. If they know they're just some wealthy person that just happens to be controlling the world. Person you never heard of. So a lot of them probably don't have social security numbers. They don't need anything or whatever numbers. They're just there, hidden in plain sight. Just a rich person, looks pretty normal. They control who's around them. So, why would word get out on that? Yeah, the pharaohs are still in power here, definitely. Yeah, and the pharaohs of Egypt. Now the pharaohs of I'll call it, well, the pharaohs of Rome are more in the Catholic Church, and England. You can say both of them are the same, but they're like two different sectors, but they're practically the same thing. Yeah, because England pretty much runs the United States. I know they say that Jerusalem runs United States to a degree. Like this whole impeachment thing's always, I believe this impeachment thing's a setup. But I don't think he's gonna get. I don't know. I don't know if he's gonna get impeached. It doesn't matter. It's a setup. It's definitely. I think they're running out of things to do, so they have to. Yeah, they're running. Because I think a lot of good things are coming in, but they have to overshadow it with the impeachment. They put darkness there. I mean, not to say things are getting perfect, but things are going to get better eventually. Of course, some of us on a personal level either don't care or don't see it fast enough or need a job or need some understood. But the Democrats, I think, are trying to. I mean, the Democrats are trying to show their relevance, whatever it is. It's part of the darker cabal. Not to say Trump's a perfect P at all, but it's the old guard. The Democrat is more of the old guard. Republicans still corrupt too, but Trump's trying to bring in a new age, definitely. At least cut out the bullshit. Yeah, he's got flaws, definitely. But you need somebody like flaw. If he was crystal clean, people would be freaked out about that. If he was just like never had a problem ever, everybody likes him, that'd be kind of creepy. He's creepy already, but he's kind of dirty in a whatever way we look at it. He's not gonna. His character is not the best fitting in who is actually. So, and it doesn't matter. Politics do play a role because politics has to break open. We have to end it eventually. The system, like with the Queen, that needs to go, and then our political system needs to go. That's like. That might be 1,000 years before that happens. Who knows? With the Queen, at least because the Queen has age on her. It's like she's kind of like the monarchy. If we had the same thing in the United States, it'd be the same thing. It's like when this person dies, things will get better, supposedly. I mean, it's not going to become 100% better overnight, but the regime will definitely break down. Definitely with the Queen. When she decides to step down and drive her car to Iran or wherever she wants to do, drive her car to Canada to meet Harry and them because they don't talk to her anymore. More power to her on that. Poor Canada. I don't know about Canada. Canada. What's making Canada thought they could get out of everything, right? Of course, you have your prime minister is all fucked up and corrupt. But now you got the royals, so they have their own challenges. So you can't they can't hide forever from modern day stupidity. But I think it gives the Canadians something to do. I mean, I don't think Harry's a bad guy in the long run. His wife has a lot of. I mean, she would rather be queen, basically. But Megan's just not liked. She don't like being there anyway. Tried to make her own rules. She's already a queen. She was already a princess before she became a princess. So, now she just has the title of it. So, I think she does want to be like Princess Diana. She does want to do good here. So she's not all the witch that some, I don't know if people see her like that, but she does have good. She wants to do good for people, and that'll be interesting to see how that goes. Do more humanitarian stuff. I like to see that. I mean, something similar to Princess Diana. That would be interesting to see. That'd be good. I mean, it won't be a PR stunt. Some of it might be, but I think she actually legitimately cares, which is good. And I think he cares too. It's just, the monarchy is just a sludge factory. It's just horrible. So he might be. I don't think Harry's going to be talking about his mother too much, like in depth. He's not allowed to yet. About what he thinks really would happen, or assassination, or whatever happened to his mother. I don't think he's allowed to do it unless the monarchy starts to, like, if William is in charge, then he can talk. Right now, I think so. Maybe not. Even there, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if anybody would care anymore, but most people don't even know about it, probably. So, who knows? Let's see here. Yeah, Canada's going to be tested. It's already being tested. I mean, not heavily, but it's going to be tested with those two there. Yeah, not extreme test, but it's gonna change some stuff. Not dramatically, but it's hard to say right now. A lot of people don't want them there for obvious reasons. So, either way, let's see here. What else we got? I don't think the queen's going to step down, but it'd be great if she did. Like I said already, but she's thinking about it. But I don't think she's not ready to give it up just yet. In my 5 more freaking years. I forget how old she's in her 90s, I think. 5 more years of this. God, jeez, that hurts. But you can say this is kind of the beginning of the end, though. Problem is that the end is 5 years from now. Maybe, who knows? It's hard to say. There's a lot more scandals that can't open up within the British family. Kind of already happened. They're going to try and keep it low key. The Epstein thing's not helping them much. Some more might break out of that. Possibly. Everything's up in the air right now. But either way, the demise of the royal family is on its way. So, like I said, if it happened this year, all the hardships of this year would be all worth it. Let's see something like that happen. The likelihood is not the highest, though. But anything's possible, but I keep feeling 5 years from her right now, so. Oh, well, just keep hoping. Yeah. Anyway, let's see here. Alright, we'll leave it at that. Hopefully some of this was educational, helpful in some ways. Maybe Neutron will be here tomorrow. We'll see how that goes, and that's about it. Alright, much love everyone, and thank you for your support, and take care.